Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Dak Prescott for MVP? He has Jerry Jones' vote. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is now the favorite to win the NFL MVP award at several sports books. Prescott's performance against the Eagles in a 33-13 win on Sunday night wasn't his best performance of the year, but in the end, the win over Philadelphia was one he needed to stamp on his resume. After the game, the MVP chants from the crowd meant something unique for a player who has been heavily criticized, including by Cowboys fans. If Prescott does wind up winning MVP, it will certainly not be a wire-to-wire win, and that perfectly encapsulates his story as a player who has worked so hard to become so great. "It's Dak evolving," said Cowboys owner Jerry Jones after the game. "He's working with head coach Mike McCarthy and offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer and what we're trying to do offensively." Jones says Prescott is one of the best he's ever seen at taking what is taught by coaches to the field. "Mike's injected his principles or ideas that he thought our personnel best suited. Dak stepped right in and worked with it and made it work," said Jones. "I think he's a great example to me about what football is. He's become most valuable player right before our eyes in the last several months," Jones continued. Jones says Sunday's win over the Eagles is the Cowboys' best in the Mike McCarthy era. The goal for Prescott is not the MVP. It is playing in February for a Super Bowl. Dak said he has to play better than he did on Sunday in the biggest games. "The work has just begun, and the gauntlet has begun with the Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins and Detroit Lions lining up for their chance to take a hack at Dak and America's team." McCarthy, excited for juggernaut matchups to come. There's not much time for the Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys to engage the fashion in which they pulled every single feather off of the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 14, a prime-time shellacking for all to see, because their upcoming schedule doesn't permit more than a few hours of elation before hitting the reset button. Sitting at 10-3 on the season, the third consecutive 10-plus win season in the McCarthy era, the Cowboys are currently atop the NFC East, number 2 in the NFC, but with a daunting task to come when they visit Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs and the Buffalo Bills in upstate New York. "There's a path and it's always under construction," said McCarthy after the 33-3 backhanded slap to the Eagles. "It's not who you play as much as it is when you play them. We all know that because of the challenges that lay out every season. These types of games, especially in this current season, we've had a number of games where we've won by a decisive margin. So to play in these types of games, I feel, is a great preparation for playoff football. That's a true statement when assessing what's to come, which is the aforementioned meeting with the Bills and Buffalo followed immediately by a trip to Miami to take on the high-powered Dolphins, then returning home to host the dangerous Detroit Lions in Week 17. This is indeed playoff-caliber football for nearly the entirety of December. These are going to be juggernauts," McCarthy said. "There's no two ways about it. Now is the time for Dallas to morph into Colossus, Wolverine, Hulk and every other mutant with the ability to go toe-to-toe with the force working against the Cowboys' goals this month. We've been talking about Buffalo all morning," the Cowboys' head coach and play caller added. "This is going to be a great environment to play in, outdoors, northern climate, all of those things. I think this is what you need as part of that opportunity to win and grow. And if things go right and you're able to grab momentum and those chunks of confidence that come with it, a good division win as we had last night, this is an opportunity to learn and grow our football team. That's going to be very important. I'm looking forward to the competition to come." It's no secret the Cowboys are the most dominant home team in the NFL, having won 15 straight at AT&T Stadium, 7 in 2023, and with a point differential that rivals most collegiate programs, but they're 3-3 on the road and that has to improve promptly. Cowboys considered potential landing spot for 3-time Pro Bowl tight end. The Dallas Cowboys could be a potential landing spot for a former star tight end, says one analyst. As suggested by CBS Sports' Brian DeArdo and Cody Benjamin, the Cowboys should be considered one of the top 5 landing spots for free agent tight end Zach Ertz. In fact, they list Dallas as the 3rd top spot for the 3-time Pro Bowl tight end, just behind the Philadelphia Eagles and Baltimore Ravens. Say it ain't so. While Ertz would assuredly prefer a move back to his beloved Eagles, Dallas might be able to offer an even cleaner path to pass-catching opportunities. It'd be weird to see him wearing the star, but eyeing a real playoff run, why wouldn't the Cowboys consider it to give Dak Prescott even more help? Ertz isn't quite the dominant tight end he was in his prime. He once posted a record 116 receptions for a tight end along with 1,163 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns during the 2018 season, but he could still be a viable asset as a secondary option. While he only posted 27 receptions for 187 receiving yards and 1 touchdown in 7 games with the Arizona Cardinals prior to his quadriceps injury in October, it's not too long ago that he posted a productive full-season campaign. He posted 74 receptions for 763 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns during the 2021 season. In fact, he posted 40.6 receiving yards per game and a 68.1% catch rate during the 2022 season, very similar marks to his 44.9 receiving yards per game and 66.1% catch rate during the 2021 season. The Cowboys currently feature Jake Ferguson as the starting tight end. While Ferguson got off to a slow start to the season, he caught just 19 of his 31 targets during the first 5 games of the season, posting under a 63% catch rate in 4 of those games. He's come around as the season has progressed. Ferguson now has 51 catches for 570 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. Among all tight ends, Ferguson ranks 10th in receptions and 8th in receiving yards. His 5 receiving touchdowns are also the second most among players at his position. While the Cowboys don't have a need for a starting tight end, they could use another receiving option at the position. Their other tight ends, rookie Luke Schoonmaker and Peyton Hendershot, are non-factors in the receiving game, posting a combined total of 8 receptions for 64 receiving yards. When one considers that Dallas relies heavily on the usage of 2 tight ends, Schoonmaker has appeared in 32% of the offensive snaps this season. It would only make sense for Dallas to add another receiving weapon to the mix. The problem is, there has been no indication that the Cowboys are interested in adding Ertz. The Eagles, Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, and San Francisco 49ers have all been reported as potential landing spots for the 33-year-old tight end. However, the idea of the Cowboys adding Ertz is based on pure speculation rather than any reported interest. Furthermore, the idea of Ertz rejoining his former team in the Eagles or signing with the Ravens for a potential starting tight end job are both likely more alluring than joining the Cowboys as a clear secondary option to Ferguson. The idea of Ertz signing with the Cowboys over the Eagles would be nice payback for linebacker Shaquille Leonard picking Philadelphia over Dallas. However, it's not a very likely scenario. And you fan, what do you think of the Zach Ertz situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.